We want people to be respectful of the national anthem. We want people to stand. That's all personnel, and make sure that they treat this moment in a respectful fashion. That's something that we think we owe. We've been very sensitive in making sure that we give players choices, but we do believe that moment is an important moment and one that we are going to focus on.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Finally, all 32 teams in the consensus say that if you are present on the football field during the national anthem, you must stand. And if you don't stand, then there's going to be a penalty assessed to the actual club of the offender. And that's a pretty important designation to make, because if it's the actual player getting the fine themselves, then they may be more likely to do it because they say, you know what, I'm just going to keep getting fined and keep kneeling. But if it's the team that gets fined rather than the player, now it's different, because you can't just do whatever you want to do. It's going to affect the whole team. And if the owner, the coach, or whoever is the one that has to pay the fine, then that means you, the player, become expendable at a certain point, depending upon your skill level. But I'm going to get back to the rule. Now, this rule applies to all NFL players and staff who are on the field. So this goes for the coaches, assistant coaches, punter, kicker, quarterback, wide receiver, everybody on the field. You must stand. A caveat here is that they kind of came to a compromise by saying, if you don't want to stand or if you don't want to participate in the national anthem ceremony, you have the option to stay in the locker room. See, the rule before this new rule said that every team must come out during the national anthem. But unfortunately, there was not a rule that said you had to stand. Now, this rule already exists in the NBA. So people talking about, oh, it's racist, all this, that, and the third. Well, nobody said that about the NBA, and nobody in the NBA is really, having an issue with that. I mean, these guys are multimillionaires, many of them, most of them in the NBA at least, not so much in the NFL, which is my next point about will there be anybody protesting or refusing to play in the NFL? You have to understand, these guys are in the least paid major sport out of all the three, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. They are the least paid out of all of them. They have the shortest careers, and they have the highest incidence of workplace-related injuries that last them long into their post-NFL career. And the reason why I break that down for you is to say that these guys in the NFL, I mean, they don't really have much options. If they had other options besides, beating their head in for 3 years to get $1 million maybe, then maybe they do so. A lot of these guys you see in the league, these would be the kind of guys that you may see on the 6 o'clock news running into somebody's house. But not everybody's going to be a criminal in the NFL, so I don't want to paint it like that. But my point is, these guys have limited options. If they don't go to criminal life, they may work at the shipyard, they may work at fast food, they may do like a low-skilled, low-paid job and wherever their hometown is. Most of them, because again, like I said, if they had other options that were better than the NFL, they'd probably do it. So I'm glad that the rule is there. I mean, they should have done it a long time ago, honestly. The rule should have been there from the beginning. But who had the foresight back then when the first rule was initiated to say that all teams must come out? It was kind of a given that you will also stand, because I don't know about anybody that's watching this, but I was taught while I was in elementary school, middle school, high school to stand for Pledge of Allegiance, national anthem, whatever the case may be. Hand over your heart, look at the flag. That's what I was always taught. Nowadays, you have Colin Kaepernick out here starting the so-called revolution in the NFL. And talking about Colin Kaepernick, that is a perfect segue into him. Of course, we cannot leave the discussion without talking about him, because he's the guy that started the whole thing. He decided when he was a quarterback for the 49ers, he wanted to kneel to protest police brutality and stuff like that. Other guys on the team copied him. Then other guys on the league copied him. Then it became a phenomenon. People in other sports doing it. It was a whole big mess. As a result of that, the sport has suffered financially. I'm hearing things like 20%, 30% drop in revenue for certain teams or for the entire sport. That's not chump change. You're talking about millions of dollars. maybe even into the tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars that are lost simply because of how the players are conducting themselves during the national anthem. And the NFL is very patriotic. You see the flag right over my right, your left hand shoulder of the American flag, and look at the actual NFL logo. It is the same thing. The NFL logo is a flag. It is red, white, and blue. It has stars on it. It has stripes. It is a flag. The NFL, for better or for worse, whether you believe it or not, has marketed themselves and branded themselves as a patriotic sport. It is like part of American culture. So when you're kneeling during the national anthem, the athletes can say, we're not disrespecting the flag. We respect our country. We love our country. We're just protesting against some of the things that are happening. They can say that until they're blue in the face. It's really irrelevant. The optics speak louder than words. You're kneeling during the national anthem. You're not putting your hand over your... It's just something that people don't like to see. It gets in the way. It's distracting, honestly, because when I'm watching NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, soccer, hockey, tennis, whatever I'm watching, I don't want to get a political message. I don't want to get a lecture. I don't want to get any of that stuff. I don't want any kind of anything. And I love news and I love talking about politics. But in that moment, I don't want politics to be there. I also enjoy video games. I also enjoy movies. I enjoy entertainment. I enjoy, having fun. I don't want to have politics in that particular moment. Yes, I do enjoy politics, but not right there. So people are tuning away from it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to watch this sport and get a political lesson or a lecture, I might as well just watch the news. What is the difference? And then you have all the rules that are coming into effect, making the game become soft and worse. So it's just too much. So at the end of the day, as I close, this was a business decision. It's not nothing about nothing else. I mean, I understand people are saying that the NFL should go back to its roots or to what we think the roots are, which is being patriotic. I get that part of it from a moral standpoint, but from a financial standpoint, the NFL can afford this. I mean, talking about 20 to 30% drop in revenue. What if the protests were to continue? Would that trend of losing money discontinue, or would it accelerate? Would it kind of like taper off? Would it accelerate, or would it decrease? It probably would continue to go on, maybe not as fast as the initial shockwave of Colin Kaepernick and all the attention he got, but it would still continue to accelerate just at a slower pace. In my humble opinion, I doubt that it would go down any, because people that left NFL, people that stopped watching the league, would not all of a sudden come back if the same things are being done. So it's really financial. And then Colin Kaepernick himself is out here trying to engage in litigation. He's attending meetings or whatever for a collusion case against Goodell and other people. He's just trying to get money too. In my humble opinion, he knows that his career is coming to an end. Like I said, the average career in the NFL, 3.5 years. He's on maybe his 10th year if he was to continue playing in the league since from the beginning when he first got drafted up until now, 10 years. I mean, most guys don't make it that long. That's a very long time for a quarterback, especially a running quarterback is going to take contact. It's like having a running back. Running backs don't last long because they constantly get hit over and over again. You may see a guy like Barry Sanders or somebody retire, and you like, why is he retiring right now? He's in the prime of his career. But you don't see all the physical things he's dealing with, all the ailments and everything else. You got guys retiring at age 27, 28 because the body can't take it anymore. So Colin Kaepernick probably knew that his time was coming to an end, and teams are not wanting to have him on because it's like a cancer. You bring him onto your ball club, it'll make you lose money instantly. And if the objective is to make money as a team and to win, you have this guy who has diminishing skills, and he's going to result in you getting less money overall from your ticket sales, merchandise, or whatever. Why would you do it? It doesn't make any sense. So in his mind, he's going to go through litigation to get money. That's what I think he's doing. I can't say for sure or for certain. I've not talked to the man, but if you're just a fly on the wall observing what's happening on the internets, in the public eye, listening to him when he talks wherever he is, you would come to that same conclusion. So what do you think? Do you think that the new rule is good for sports? Is it good for the NFL? Have you left the NFL? Did you stop watching it because of the whole kneeling drama and all the political stuff that's surrounding it? Will you come back now that the rule is there? Speaking for myself, I kind of stopped watching football after the whole kneeling thing. I watch a game here and there, but I'm more into basketball. And by the way, if you didn't know, the NBA has this same rule that you must stand for the national anthem. You must show the flag respect. They have that rule. They've been had it for a very long time. I'm not quite sure how long, but they've had it for a long time. Maybe since Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, but that's a whole different story, and I digress. But it's been there. I've not heard any complaints. I mean, these guys are millionaires in the NBA, millionaires. So I don't really see what's the issue. Like I said, I think I'll come back, watch some more games than I did last year because it won't be so much political drama surrounding it. I'm sure probably for the first week, maybe two, you'll have the announcers and commentators speaking about the whole flag issue. But as long as that's not right in front of my face during the game, I'll be able to enjoy the sport more than I did in the past couple of years since the drama has unfolded. Do you think it took Roger Goodell and the other owners, which, by the way, voted unanimously for this, did it take them too long to come up with this ruling? Do you think that the caveat they have here, which is you could stay in the locker room if you desire, you don't have to come out as a team, you could just stay in the back and then come out after the anthem is done, was that kind of a cop-out, unfair compromise? Like, how do you feel about that? I think all teams should come out during the national anthem, hand over the heart, and handle it that way. But maybe you think differently. Do you think that this rule is a bad thing? Should the NFL players be able to do whatever they want to do? Freedom of speech. Now, what if you have an employer who does not like your freedom of speech? Are they unable to act? Are they unable to react? Aren't you stifling their speech if they're not able to react to someone else's free speech? You know, you can have rights and that's fine, but when you start to infringe upon someone else's in the name of defending your own, then at that point, what are we really doing? But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.